I think a big part of teaching comes with how you're able to motivate your students. When my students first get started, I demonstrate a lot of the tricks and go like, ooh, I want to learn that. That looks really cool. And that's how I teach that. As time goes on, a lot of the tricks get harder and harder, and it takes a longer amount of time, longer period of time for the students to learn. And a lot of the times they lose motivation. So what I would do myself, I would give them an easier trick for them to learn, for them to focus on while they're learning that trick that they're struggling on. So you don't just give them one trick at a time. You would give them 2 or 3. So they actually feel like they're improving. And then another big way to motivate your students will be to provide performances and opportunities for them. Really, the level doesn't matter. Even if they've just started for like a month or so, you're still able to. So I think it's really about how you provide the opportunities for your students. I myself, whenever I have a performance, I try to involve my students, whether it's having them go on stage or even dragging them on stage with me, and I do a routine with them. What I like most about performing with my students is how much they enjoy doing it with me as well. And also, I've been a solo performer for the first half of for a really long time, and having someone on stage with me, it's really just a completely different experience. Even the process of coming up with that routine, leading up to the performances, the time leading up to the performances, us practicing together, making all these mistakes, and then trying to just build a routine for the performance, build a craft. It's all a really, really fun experience. All right, I think it's a great idea to bring exams or any kind of scoring system into the Diabolo community. That will give it a more of a sense of competition. And then when it's like after you get 100 on your exam, you get to a certain level, it's really a sense of accomplishment that would really, really help motivate everybody, help motivate the students to learn. So they reach their certain level and they feel really accomplished, and I think it'll also help them set another goal for themselves. Now I'm gonna try to reach the next level, and so on. And then it'll really help motivate the students a lot. Yes, I do tour Taiwan in the summertime, and what I really like about doing that is how different the Diabolo community there in Taiwan is versus here in the US. Taiwan is actually the heart of Diabolo, is where a lot of the pros are gathered. A lot of the younger generation, most of the younger generation in Taiwan actually knows how to play Diabolo, and a lot of them are really, really good. So in the summertime, I go on tour in Taiwan, learning, teaching, performing. And what I really like about that is how different the community in Taiwan is versus here in the US. The Diabolo community is much, much more developed there. In Taiwan is actually the heart. Taiwan is the heart of Diabolo. Most of the younger generation know how to play Diabolo, and a lot of them are really, really good. And I just want to figure out why that's the case in Taiwan, and what we're lacking here, and if there's anything I could do here that they're doing in Taiwan to help really grow the community in the US. And of course, I go there to also learn and improve my own craft, learn from the pros, learn some performing tips, some new tricks, some harder tricks. Yeah. What we're missing here in the US versus in Taiwan, I would say, would be competitions. Competitions is just a huge opportunity for players from anywhere and everywhere to gather, interact, compete, and learn. We don't have any of that here in the US, and they have that constantly in Taiwan, which is why their community is constantly growing, and their technique is always getting better and better, and we're kind of stuck in the gray area. But I feel like as long as we get competition started here, people will start pushing themselves to try to do well in these competitions, and they'll also get to meet more Diabolo players and connect with them. There aren't any competitions here in the US open to the public that I know of. Just little groups doing it here, little groups doing it there. What I would like to see is just one big gathering of everybody in the US that does Diabolo. You come together, they interact, they just have fun, have a little competition, and just get to know each other, and just from there we could grow.